have you noticed the trend of owls in card making and scrapbooking pages? I've always thought that kaleidoscopes would make wonderful owl eyes. Today I'll show you how to make owl eyes and a face using a combination of Dazzling Reflections templates. So I've gone ahead and opened up the program, and I've also imported the image I'll be using to make the kaleidoscopes. Now the best templates for these are the circles, and they are KS01, 02, 03, 06. Those are the best ones, and then also the pinwheels. All come standard with Dazzling Reflections. So I'm going to select KS02, double click on my photograph, and begin designing my kaleidoscope. Now it is important that you completely fill the design, or the template rather. So I've got that all in place, and when I click in the white space, I can also show hide templates. That way I can see that I've completely filled that center. So now that I've got this one made, I'm going to go up to File, select Export. I'll leave the default settings as they are, and I'll just call this one KS1, and I'm going to save it as a JPEG. Of course, you can give it any name that you like. So now I've got that image saved. I'm going to click on the first icon, which will clear my screen. Now we'll go down to the pinwheel selections, and these are also standard with Dazzling Reflections. And I'll select PW02 and go through the process of designing the kaleidoscope. And I'm making these similar so that you can see the differences in the final example. Okay, so I've completely filled this one. I'll go up to File, choose Export, and I'll call this one PW1, also save as a JPEG. Now I have my two images. So I'll clear my screen. Then I'm going to go over to Import Picture, click on KS01, hold down the Control key on my keyboard, click on PW1, hit Open, and it brings both those kaleidoscopes back into the program. Now to make the final face, you will need to have the Simply Elegant template pack, which is an additional or add-on template pack for Dazzling Reflections. And the template that you will need is KSP07. So I'll click on it once to select it, double click on the first image here. Now I'm going to click on the active segment, but do not move the photograph or do not move the kaleidoscope. Instead, go down to the center bar, and as you hover over it, you'll see a double arrow. Click and hold, and then with your mouse, just pull out until you completely fill that template. I'll click on the white space, and now you can see what appears to be an owl face with the eyes. So one kaleidoscope would yield two sets of eyes, or two owls. So at this point, you can either print directly from Dazzling Reflections, or you could export it. And if you are going to export it and use it in Photoshop, I would recommend that you export and save as a PNG file. And what this will do is all this white space that you see that surrounds the template, that will become transparent. And that way you can add some of the shadowing, outlining, and all the other fun effects that Photoshop offers. So now that's the first one. So I'm going to clear the screen, and now I want to show you what it looks like using the pinwheel. So I'll double click on this one, go down to that center bar, and increase the size. And now you can see this gives me a different look, and I actually really like this look. This would probably be my preference. But again, you're the designer and you choose what you would like. So now that I've shown you how to design this part of it, let me show you some other fun things you can do with this kaleidoscope. So here are the two kaleidoscopes that I showed you how to make in the demonstration. And they look fantastic just as is, but I wanted to give you another option as far as embellishment goes. What I did was I took a different image and I made another pinwheel kaleidoscope for the center of the eye. So this is a digital representation of how you could put that together. Of course, you would be cutting this out on paper and using pop dots and glitter and all the fun stuff that crafters like to use. So this first one here, I'm just going to drag and drop it right into the center. So this is pinwheel on pinwheel. So we've got those in place. And then for the beak, all I did was cut a couple of diamonds, made one slightly smaller than the other and a different shade. And that's how you make the owl face. Now on the second one, this was the kaleidoscope or mirror image one. I've left a white border around the kaleidoscope or the pinwheel, and this just adds a little bit more, I guess, surprise is probably the best way to describe it. But you could add any color there, of course. And again, I'll put the beak in place. And that's how you make an owl face using Dazzling Reflections templates. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and I look forward to seeing some projects that you make.